We're joined today by Steven Lydeamore, CEO of Immuron. Steve, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
For those who don't know the Immuron story, can you talk us through the highlights and some of your achievements?
Look, we're a small biopharmaceutical company based in Melbourne, but we're listed both on ASX and NASDAQ, and we focus on enteric diseases. That's diseases of the gut. And you probably do know us. We sell a product called Travelan for travelers' diarrhea. So if you've been to Bali, more than likely you've either taken it or you know somebody that has. But not just that, we're also working on programs with the Department of Defense in the US on enteric diseases, and let's talk a little bit more about that later.
Looking at Travelan in particular, your recent sales are showing significant momentum. What's driving that?
Yes, we almost hit $8 million in the year, just closed out in June. And going back to the pandemic times when people weren't traveling, we were almost at zero sales. We've grown from almost zero down up to $8 million now, and that's been growing mostly in Australia. So $5.8 million of that's in Australia. And we've been doing double-digit growth for a long, long time now. But also in the United States market, which is our second largest market, we are up to a couple of $1 million in the North American markets now, growing quite strongly. Unfortunately, the Australian dollar didn't really help us out very much, but people are travelling more again, notwithstanding cost of living crises and other geopolitical events going on. But travel's continuing to increase, and word gets around, and our product works, which is why sales are growing.
Beyond Travelan, you did mention you're working on a pipeline of projects with the Department of Defense in the US. Can you talk to that pipeline and what are the projects you're developing?
Yeah, so the Department of Defense have been a very good advocate of ours. They've been working with us over a number of years, spent millions of dollars using our technology to focus on a big problem for the Department of Defense. So in every war, going back to World War I, II, Vietnam War, Middle Eastern wars, enteric diseases, so that's diarrhea and the like, causes warfighters not to be effective in the field, as you can imagine. So two of the focus areas for them at the moment are on Campylobacter and Shigella, which are emerging pathogen issues. And apart from that, we have one other advanced program, which is the C. difficile infection, or Clostridioides difficile infection. It's IMM 529. We recently got IND approval from the FDA, which allows us to go into phase 2. We're currently out there seeking a large pharma partner to partner with us to take that trial forward.
You are unusual. You've got commercial product in operation, generating significant revenues, as you mentioned, plus a pipeline of new products coming through. How do you differentiate yourself from peers, given most peers are clinically driven without any commercialization, or some may be commercial only with no pipeline?
Yeah, so it's interesting because depending on the investor, some are looking for that growth of revenue and others are looking for the pipeline. We have a bit of both. So so that's got advantages and disadvantages. The biggest advantage is that we're cashed up. So we have cash in the bank, roughly 2 years worth of cash. And we have a product generating revenue, which is bringing in more cash. So we're not in a position where we have to raise capital, which sets us apart from for some of our peers. And we do have a pipeline and it's advanced. So we have 2 programs, which are both at that phase 2 stage. And we're right at the moment looking for a partner. So we've got the potential to not only find someone to fund that R&D to bring in upfront payments and milestone payments with a double-digit royalty on the back end. So there's big potential for the pipeline as well as from revenue from Travelan.
And where to from here? What should investors be looking at from Immuron over the next 6 to 12 months? What are those milestones that will ignite the share price?
Yeah, so we get a good reaction when we put out quarterly sales results. So in the year just completed, we each quarter, so there's 4 quarters of growth, all exceeding the prior year. So you can expect more of that. So in FY27, we're going to continue to grow not only Australian sales, but ramp up in North America. And probably this is the big year where we're looking for that partnership on IMM 529. So think of a major announcement sometime during the year where we'll get a deal done, that upfront fee and the biobucks and the big promise of revenue on the back end.
Significant milestones already achieved and a clear path for growth, both within your existing portfolio and your revenue generating product. Exciting times ahead for Immuron and its shareholders. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you, David.